Hello and welcome to the season finale of T Money Talks. In this week's episode, T Money is going to talk about anything that they feel like as they bring season 1 to an end and prepare you for when season 2 comes again. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Hello, welcome to the official final episode of season 1 for T Money Talks. That is correct, folks. This episode that you are tuning into today is unfortunately as sad as I am to say this, it is the final episode for season 1 of T Money Talks. But fear not, T Money Talks will return again, as I have said. I know I said last week in the preseason finale episode, which I really hope you guys enjoyed. Because even though I may not have completely had a plan for it, I think the way the organic, natural way that things just kind of happened on that episode, I feel like that was the perfect way that it was a perfect way to sum up how T Money Talk season 1 was, you know? Sorry I'm saying so much, by the way. Anyways, yeah, so I felt like just having this organic kind of chaos happen with Jer on the podcast too, I just felt like that was the best way I could almost close the whole season for you guys, you know? It's just to bring in all of like kind of just a little bit of everything that's gone on during the podcast, you know? Just talking about the past episodes, talking about future episodes, you know, and just talking about T Money Talks in general, you know? It was a blast. I had a lot of fun recording it and editing it. Oh my god. Like the amount of times like I was just cracking up at what we were talking about was just it's how I knew I was like that is the perfect way to do a preseason finale episode. It's like you can't get anything better than that, and I feel like that's something that just might have to stick around when every season of T Money Talks comes to an end, you know. It's kind of have like a chaotic preseason event, you know. Where nothing's planned, it's just crazy, anything goes, anything happens, and then I close you guys back in when how it began is how it shall end. I started alone, no guests, just me in my room talking to myself, and I'm going to end season 1 that same exact way, talking to myself in a room with no one else here, no one else around, just me and you talking, listening, figuring out things. And I just felt like that was the only way I wanted to end T Money Talks for the season. This isn't the end of the show. The show is coming back. This is not the end. This is just the end of season 1. Season 2 will be returning in August. Yes, so I know I said I was gonna take 6 months in between seasons. Ha ha ha, just kidding. I don't know how to count. I'm taking 5 months. 5 months of a break between each season to plan for like however many. So I'm thinking season 2 will be 30 episodes long, so I'm gonna start so in those 5 months I will have to plan and, you know, really build a structure for T Money Talks season 2 to really take it to another level from what season 1 already is. Like it's done so well. Season 1, I did not expect to have as many listeners as I do, which I am extremely grateful for, which I'm going to do a segment. things are happening anyways, you know, to be continued. But yeah, so like I'm actually starting to plan like the structure and prepare myself for season 2, because I really do want to give my listeners, I want to give you listening to this right now, I want to give you the best podcast that I can. And so instead of a 6-month break, which although I like even numbers, you know, like 6, like that seems good. 5 somehow, like when I said, oh, it's when I like read back and like counted the months, because I was like, I know I'm going to come back in August. That's absolutely for sure. I'm coming back in August. When I counted the months, I was like, oh, that's 5, not 6. And I was like, and then it's just like when I heard 5 months, it's just like clicked in my head. Like I was like, oh yes, five. Like I got an okay. Like I got the high buzz. I got the good vibes. I got that gut feeling where it's like, yes, 5 months. 5 months. That is the number. Stick with it. And so I was like, all right, cool. 5 months it is. I like that better, to be honest, because I really am sad that Tea Money Talks season 1 is already over. I really wish it could have been at least 2 more episodes longer. And as much as I probably could have forced out 2 more episodes, I was like, no, let's just take it. Take the full 5 months and go, all right? Come back when you're glowing. So that's what I'm doing. It'll be 5 months. Tea Money Talks season 2 will be returning in August. And as I said, I would explain more on the YouTube channel for Tea Money Talks. So yes, I have created a YouTube channel for Tea Money Talks. In case you really don't want to follow me on any of my social medias, which I totally I respect. I have no problem with it. Which is why I'm making a YouTube channel, because I don't know, maybe you're more comfortable with YouTube and stuff like that. Because with this YouTube channel for Tea Money Talks, I will be putting out an announcement. I'll do a little announcement video when giving an exact date for season 2 of Tea Money Talks. It'll be it'll be back on and then and then that way if you're subscribed because you listen to the podcast, you'll know exactly when to okay, Tea Money's back. Let's go. Let's see this glow up. You'll have that there. I also probably might make a Facebook page eventually, possibly. I don't really know. I don't use Facebook like that, so I'm why should I make a Facebook page? But I know it wouldn't make sense to have one. But that's why I'm going with the YouTube, because I feel like YouTube is the most I use YouTube. I do YouTube, so that it just makes sense for me in my head. But anyways, yes. So you can subscribe to that if you would feel most comfortable. That would be cool, because also what I'm planning to do in season 2 is do video messages for when the holidays come around, be oh, merry something, happy Thanksgiving, do stuff like that, do shout outs, I don't know, do little things for the podcast that I would like to do, just video wise. It's something you get outside of just listening to me once a week. So I do have plans to use that YouTube channel, so do subscribe. Everything is now, I set it all to be linked. I have links now. If you're using on Anchor, which is where I produce I distribute the podcast. That one, on that website, it has all the links for my Instagram, for my Twitter, for YouTube, and something, and I think just YouTube. And then YouTube also has the links for Anchor, and I believe I don't know if I linked my Twitter and no, I didn't link. Yeah, that was smart of me. Anyways, but yeah, so now those are linked for you guys to go and check those out. I think it should also be linked in whatever way you use to listen to this podcast, whether it be Apple, Spotify, Overcast, because Google, I know I'm on a couple of them, so I'm not, it should all be linked there. Now that I linked everything, I'm assuming, I'll have to double check on that, and if not, this is the last one. Anyways, yeah, and I could just pause it and then check it. Yeah, duh. Anyways, but yes, so now you know that yes, Tea Money Talks has a YouTube channel. Sorry, I kind of rambles there. Anyway, you see that there. That even though it was organic and you got to see behind the scenes of how everything goes down, I was just it could have been cooler if I was just talking about something else. But anyways, I also feel season 1 of Tea Money Talks is very much, because I said, it's just very much getting to know myself, dipping my toes into the water. I feel very much this season 1 is us dipping our toes into the water, is me figuring out how to run a podcast, me figuring out how to get to know myself, me trying to figure out who I am, what I want, all these things about who I am. And I feel in this process of why season 1 is so organic, is why I let everything kind of just happen, is there was structure but not a very defined structure, is because I feel that's what dipping your toes in the water is kind of all about, where like there is structure, there is like this idea of like, okay, I gotta dip my toes in the water to see how cold it is, how hot it is. Do I really want to get into this? Do I not want to get into this? So I feel like there's always structure in dipping your toes in the water, or in a sense there's always boundaries to be set, and it's just me kind of figuring out where to set the boundaries, where I want to set things, if I want to do this, if I want to do that. And so I feel like with this being in season 1, it was a lot of me getting to know myself, deciding what parts of myself I wanted to share, what part. And by that I mean this, now I'm referencing to me editing my audio. So like sometimes like I'll go over like 5 to 10 minutes sometimes, but I'll end up editing out like 3 to 5 minutes of the podcast of me talking. And that's just because it's me deciding as I dip my toes into the water, is like, is this something I want to put out onto the world for everyone to see, hear, or do I not want to, so I have that boundary, that kind of like structure that I'm setting. It's like, where do I want to dip my toe in? Where do I want to draw the line in? Kind of starting to set the boundaries so that when we get to season 2, I could establish like, okay, this is what I will talk about. This is what I'm willing to share open. This is what I'm completely open and okay with talking about. And now I'm like, okay, this is things that I don't want to talk about because I don't feel comfortable, whether for whatever reason it may be. Even if I'm in the slightest bit uncomfortable with it, it's all right. We won't talk about it. That's not something to be discussed on the podcast, and that's something that I have to be okay with. That's why I feel like season 1 is just the dipping the toes. So when we get to season 2, our feet are in the water. Like we're starting to walk into the water. So we're diving a little bit deeper into more of who I am, because right now I'm very much on the surface. I'm very much this just the first layer. This is just the first layer of who I am. And season 2, we dive into a deeper layer. And then, as the season goes, the deeper I go into this journey of self-care, self-love, self-discovery, this journey of discovering who I am, this journey of trying to ascend to my higher self, this journey of my music, this journey of YouTube, this journey of this podcast is set kind of is set with the seasons. Season 1, we're dipping the toes. Like I said, I kind of lost my train of thought. I totally lost my thought, which sucks because I really had something going there. But yeah, essentially season 1 is you dipping your toes in the water. We're in the surface layer. We're on the surface layer of who I am. And season 2 is an even deeper layer of who I am, which is why it needs to have structure. It needs to have more structure, it still needs to be organic. I still want that organic factor, which is why I record my episodes like the week, like because I upload on Wednesday, so I record my podcasts on Sunday just to talk about like what I did during the week, over the weekend, in case anything happened, and then I talk, and then that way it's the most up to date, it's the most in real time T Money you get. I don't want to record something and you're listening to like a 6-month-old recording of me. It's like, no, I don't want that. Like, I mean, I will do that for season 2, but only when it comes to guests. Like, say if one of my cousins, because I have a cousin who lives out in San Diego, so say he comes out and he's and I'm like, oh, yo, you want to come on the podcast? We could talk about this. And he's like, oh, absolutely. Then yes, okay. Because he happens to be in town, I'm okay with having that, like, kind of, not necessarily a very recent recording of us, but a recording of us for an episode. Then yes, that's the only way you'll get like an old audio recording, is possibly from a guest, and that's only just has to do with timing. And because I just want to work with other people's schedules so I could get more people on the podcast and figure out how to do that, so it's just that those are the only things. Other than that, if it's just going to be me on the podcast, because it is just me all the time, then that will always happen in like a couple of days before I release it. That's how I'm going to do it, just to give it the most in real time I can for you guys. With that being said, I got tired. That was a mouthful. I feel like I got really serious. I'm like, this is my plan, guys. Like, I feel like I'm presenting to a board meeting, because I'm like, okay, here's the plan. I need 5 months to get this, to do this, this, and this. So when I come back, it's like bang, 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 bang. You know, like I'm trying. Like, please don't leave. I feel like I'm here presenting to you. So like, okay, so I know I'm going to go on a break for 5 months, and I don't know if you're down to wait around for me to come back, but I really hope you do, and here's the why you should. I really feel like that's how, like, I'm pitching season 2 to you right now, so you could stick around and you won't, like, when season 2 comes back, you will return again when I return as well. That's really what I'm hoping for, and I feel like what I'm doing. But at the same time, I'm also telling this to myself, so when I'm recording this, I'm like, oh yes, let me jot, you know, write all these things down, because I see Too Many Talks go. I want to do Too Many Talks for as long as I could. Let me say that. I want to do Too Many Talks for as long as I can, just because I enjoy it. I have so much fun doing it. I didn't know I would love talking to myself as much as I did until now. Like, I really have been enjoying just having conversations with myself, getting to know myself, discovering these things about myself, relearning things about myself. It's been, I recommend everyone talk to themselves. You don't have to start a podcast like I did. But I do recommend, like, just talking to yourself, whether it be like out loud or in your head. Like, sometimes I'll talk to myself out loud like this, like I do the podcast, or sometimes I will just lay in bed just staring at a wall, but in my mind, in my noggin, I'm playing scenes. I'm like talking to myself in my head. Like, I'm like literally like watching myself talk to myself, like, as I stare off into space. And I mean, you don't have to do that either, but I just say talk to yourself every once in a while, because sometimes just saying things out loud, hearing them yourself, is enough to let things out. You know, you kind of just bring things out that you didn't really know. And I feel like that's what I've gotten to know the most with this organic season 1 approach. But enough of the season 1 talk for now, just because I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit bored with myself, because I feel like I am pitching to a meeting, and I'm like, okay, enough board meeting pitching, time to get down to, like, not business, but let's just have a good time. Okay. So anyways, this week I've been doing I did some recording on Monday and Tuesday. I recorded a bop for my album. The album is coming along beautifully, but after Tuesday, I took a break from, like, recording, from doing TikToks, from, like, from doing all of the work and all the things that I do. On Tuesday, I took care of everything that I needed to. I took care of the YouTube video, I took care of the music stuff, I took care of everything I needed to, so that I would have the rest of the week up until Sunday night, when I'm recording this right now, that I gave myself to do absolutely nothing, to have a mini vacation, to just rest, to not worry about work, to not stress about anything, and I gave myself a much needed vacation from everything that I've been doing. Because as much as I've loved doing it, I have just been spreading myself really thin lately. And so I just took this week to be like, you know what? No, this is your time. You deserve it. Just rest for the rest of the week. And that's exactly what I did. On Friday, I went roller skating. I had so much fun. I was just blading. I was blading in that roller rink. The music was going, and I was just out there vibing, despite the chaos that was going on. That roller rink had no order. There was no order, because, you know, normally you go to a roller rink and they're like, everyone, you could only go and skate in one direction. You follow the circle goes one way. You do not go any other way besides the circle. You cannot cut across, you cannot go diagonal. You could only skate in a circle. and nothing else, or sometimes other places would have like the outside of the rink, like the outer part of the circle would be where like you go fast, you could catch some speed, you could see some real speed, and then the inner circle would be like slower for like the people who are still learning how to roller skate, so it's more structure, it's controlled, there's no chaos, the kids are controlled, there's no one running around anywhere, I mean everywhere doing whatever the heck they please. No, it is calm, it is relaxing, it is fun, it is a good time. But this roller rink at Fiesta Village just was something else. It was the chaos that was in that roller rink. I almost fought a child twice. Twice I almost fought this little girl because she, for whatever reason, was just coming full speed at me so many different times when there was no room for her to like get between me or past me. And the thing is, it's not like she's coming from behind, she's coming like right, like we're making eye contact, like she's coming in the direction she should not be coming in, and I'm like, dog, I cannot stop. Like I'm like, if we collide, just know I am not holding back, I am going on top of you, my foot comes first. But twice she was trying to like, oh my god, she was just trying to like, I don't know why. She just kept going the wrong way. She was going any which direction she felt like. And there was one point where I did scream, but it was mostly out of fear because I thought I was gonna fall, and I screamed, "What is wrong with you?" to this child. But it's only because I really did, like, she had no room, and she was using one of those like assist, like I'm gonna call it a walker because sometimes I do use my walker when I'm roller skating just because it helps with balance. So she was using one of those walkers, it's made out of pipes, she was using one of those, and there's like no space for her to get in to get past me, so she's coming with like this grandma thing full speed. I'm guarantee she does not need this thing at the speed and the finesse that she is coming at me. She did not need this for assistance. And then I'm just like, dog, as we make eye contact, I like somehow jumped towards my friend to last minute get out of her way, and that is why I was so scared that I was gonna fall when I like jumped that I yelled, "What is wrong with you?" And then the child looked back like, "Oh my god, what did I do?" And I'm like, yeah, you did do something wrong, little girl. But other than the chaos that was there was no order at that rink, but I had a great time. Either way, I had a great time. I skated for like over 2 hours. By the time I knew my foot was ready to give, when the last round we were doing, my friends, we were taking a picture, and my foot started going numb at the toes. I was like, oh, maybe I should start like going in. But so we were taking the pictures, and then by the time we finished taking the pictures, my whole foot was just numb. So I was like, okay guys, yeah, I gotta go take my skates off, I cannot feel my foot. And I'm skating, I kid you not, my foot is so numb, I'm like, I don't even know if I have a foot anymore. Like, as I'm just blading, because I don't feel anything in my right foot. I don't feel anything in my right foot. I looked down, I was like, oh no, my foot's there, like it's going, like I see my leg moving, I just don't feel my foot. And so I'm like blading as fast as I can at this point because I can't feel it. It's like, when your legs go numb and when you try to walk on it, it feels funny. It was like that plus, but like also losing like feeling as well. So I finally make it out of the rink, and then I sit down and I take it off, and then my foot, like as soon as I took my blade off, my foot was like, it was fine, it was normal again. It was really just telling me, T-Money, you need to get off of me right now. I know you want to blade more, but we cannot go any longer. And so I listened, and I appreciated my foot allowing me to blade for as long as I did, because like I said, it was so much fun. I just wish I had the whole rink to myself, I must say that. But it was really good time. And then I also got technically it is drums. It's a tabletop drum. So for those of you who do not know what that is, you can Google it. You'll probably get a better like idea than what I will describe to you. But anyways, what a tabletop drum is, it's pretty much an electric kit that it's in the shape of what a standard drum kit would look like, except it's just like rubber like paddings. You're just gonna have to look up a picture. As I'm looking at this, I'm like, how do I describe this? Anyways, yeah, so it's like, imagine like a tray, but on top of the tray is the picture is like a picture of a drum set, like the bird's eye view of a drum set, of a drum kit. That's what it is. And it's electric, so it's programmed with a bunch of different. It has like 75 different kit sounds, 105 songs. It's got a lot of stuff that you could do. It's a very good place to start if you want to learn to play the drums. You see, I wanted to get an electric drum kit, like a full-on like electric kit, and I was like, I don't have space for it. I actually figured out where I would have space for it in my loft. If I moved one of my amps, if I put one of my amps away, then I would be able to use it. And so I was like, I would totally be able to do it. However, my thing was, I was like, what if I do ask for this electric kit, I get it, and then I don't practice it? I will feel so horrible. I will feel guilty that I was gifted this electric kit that I don't even use, that I don't even practice. It was like it was a pointless buy. So I was like, okay, as much as I would love that, as much as I wanted to learn how to play drums, I'm like, I don't know if I could see myself actually playing that every single day for like the rest of my life. I don't know if I can. So I kept looking on Guitar Center, like different electric drum kits, like beginner ones, like something that I could use to record for my music, because that's the whole point also of why I'm getting the drum kit, is because I not only want to learn how to play the drums just for myself because it's fun, and it has been, but also so I could have better drum tracks on my songs, because right now I use my keyboard to do the drums for all my tracks. So sometimes I know I can make a better beat if I had an actual kit. And now that I do, I'm starting to learn how to play the drums so I can play the actual drums on my tracks and have better like sounds. It'll just be better music in general. I feel like it'll be a very nice upgrade to my music as I continue to elevate my craft, perfect it, find more of my sound and all that stuff. So I'm really excited. I've been practicing, so I kind of played the drums a little bit in high school. So yeah, I took a piano class my senior year of high school, and my professor was really cool. She taught me how, of course, well, it was a piano class, so she taught everyone how to play the piano, but because I became really good friends with her, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to college, like I want to pursue music and all this stuff. And so we got to talking, and I was like, yeah, I've only played guitar, and then piano's might becoming my second instrument. And so because I would talk to her so much about like my music, about learning and like all the stuff, we would just talk music, she sometimes would bring in a drum set to the classroom. And so like she was kind of slowly like teaching me like different jazz like drum lines and stuff. So I kind of like was learning to play the drums from her as much as I could, like when I was taking her piano class. So I kind of like know how to play the drums in a sense, but in reality I'm a beginner. Even though I can like do all the drum beats, I could pick them up really easily. Like it's not hard for me. Like it is hard for me to like count out the beats in my head, because I start to think about it too much. But once I know the beat, and I separate them, and then I put it all together, give me 5 minutes, like 10-15 minutes, and I'll have the beat down, like no problem. And that's only because with the piano, since I do play piano, my hands are already used to playing two different tempos at once, to doing two completely different things at once. So for my hands for the drums, that's like a piece of cake. It's more so like incorporating my feet into it, that makes it a little bit harder. But because I also play guitar, sometimes I will keep tempo by tapping my foot when I'm playing guitar. So in a sense, I'm also doing like 3 different things, because my one hand is playing chords, my other hand is strumming, and then my foot is keeping like the tempo, the metronome. So essentially, in a sense, I kind of know how to already like use my arms and legs to get them all to do different things at the same time, the way drums work. I'm so sorry I rambled. But anyways, yeah, so I'm kind of already familiar with how the process works and all that stuff. So it's been fun actually being able to sit down and practice and perfect it more, though. It's like figuring out, okay, let's do this. Let's figure out how to make drum roll, like not drum rolls, oh my gosh, drum fills, so when I do incorporate my music, to incorporate the drums into my music, I know it's not just like one like robotic like beat, how robotic beat, yeah, a robotic beat where it's like just nothing but a like the whole time. I'm like, no, we want some like fills in there, we want a little spice, we want it to sparkle. The whole point of this is like to give it more oomph, to give it more pizzazz, to give my music more of a soul, to really feel more of what I'm trying to express into my music. That's what the drums will do. That's why I'm like really trying to teach myself. I'm really like practicing this stuff, and I'm taking it seriously, like the same way I did when I taught myself how to play guitar. I'm watching YouTube videos, I'm practicing, I'm doing things. I'm like, no, I'm gonna get this. I'm going to be very good. And honestly, I'm starting to think that maybe the drums should have been the instrument I should have like chose to play instead of the guitar. Because even though as much as I love to play guitar, like as much as that'll always be my instrument, it's always been a struggle for me to learn how to, like, learning to play the guitar was really good. Especially, maybe it's just because I'm self-taught. That was the very first instrument I taught myself how to play, so that could be it too, why it was so hard. Anyways, but yeah, no, I don't know, because like with the drums, it just feels so natural. Like I'm like, yeah, this is what I like, this is my thing. Yeah, I'm a drummer. I mean, I'm not calling myself a drummer yet, but it feels like I was supposed to be a drummer, but I chose the path of the guitar, and I feel like I'm okay with my choices though, because I love the guitar. I feel like I don't know who I would be if I didn't play the guitar, because it's just we have such a good connection, me and the guitar. It's just the way I could, especially when I accompany someone, it's just the way when I could feel the emotions of a singer when they're singing and I'm accompanying them, that lets me like bring the energy they're bringing out when they sing. I could bring that into my playing, and it's really hard to explain, but it makes sense, because and people know what I'm talking about when I have played with them. Is just the energy the singer puts out, I could also manipulate with my guitar playing. So the way they feel, I bring that into the guitar playing, and that's how I really get that emotion, and I have that soul in my music, is because I'm able to put that energy out, which is really cool, which is also why I'm like, nah, me and the guitar, we were meant to be friends. But yeah, I kind of lost where I was going. I know I was talking about roller. Oh yeah. Okay, no. I'm trying to make sure I haven't like lost track or went on in circles. I've just kind of been like talking, because I feel like I was listening to some of the very first episode of T Money Talks, and I'm just like, wow, I sound so young. I sound so young and so naive. Who was I when I was little? Kind of like that. It's just kind of like listening and like, wow, and it, as funny as it does sound, it's like I do sound like young and like fresh and like, oh yeah, I'm here, and now I sound like more like, okay, I feel like in the very first episode I sound very kind of unsure, kind of like, hi, here we are, let's figure out what's happening, and now I'm just like, no, you really can see the journey of me discovering who I am, getting to know myself, and I think that's what's really cool, because not only will you see it in the seasons, but you also see not only will you see the growth between the seasons, but you see and hear the growth within the season itself, if that makes sense. I know my head is like, it's like, it gives me puzzles, and like I have to cipher my own thoughts, decipher and decode my brain. But it makes sense. I know what I'm saying. I know, you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying and saying. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like, and two, why I bring this up is because, like, even though Tea Money Talks season 1 is the final episode. The season itself isn't going on anywhere. All the episodes are continue or will stay on, like all stream, like everywhere. It's you can listen to this podcast. So I don't know if it's all streaming platforms. I know it's like 8 or 9 different platforms this is on, but I do want to say that like this season, I'm not deleting this season. I'm not taking this season down. Like it's gonna be up online forever, so you could always go back and listen to any of these episodes at any time. Anytime you feel like you need a little pick me up, anytime you feel like you need someone there, or you need a reminder to be there for yourself or to care for yourself, like just go back and listen to one of my episodes. Have some time for yourself. Even to like, especially the music ones, because I feel like those ones are very much good for like meditation and stuff. Like, please, absolutely, like if you need someone, like, yes, I am here. Like, and that's then that Tea Money Talks is always here for you. Like, you could go back at any time and listen to any one of those episodes, and it'll be there for you. I promise you, I will not take any of these episodes down ever, because Tea Money is there for you at any time of the day. Literally any time of the day, anywhere you're at, I am there. Especially if you download these episodes, I am there with you at any time. Or you could just pull it up and I'll be there for you. Like Tea Money Talks, you could listen to this anytime. And so I please very much encourage you to do that. It's like, continue to look back at previous episodes if you want to. Listen to episodes again, like just whenever you need it. Just go back, and because I say that because I'm going to be doing that myself, is like as I upload these, because I'm also going to be uploading season 1 onto YouTube, the Tea Money Talks YouTube channel as well. Not so necessary, just so it's like another place for people to listen to Tea Money Talks as well, because I'll upload season 2 as I upload season 2 will also be uploaded on YouTube as well as that premieres, as those episodes air. I'll also be uploading it on YouTube, just to give people more access, more ways to listen to it, because I don't know if everyone has access to Spotify or Apple or Anchor or Overcast or radio, like all the places I'm on. I don't know, so I want to make Tea Money Talks as accessible as I possibly can, and by putting it on YouTube, that opens it up for even more people to listen to it. And and it also gives me more of a way to connect better with you guys. Again, if you don't want to follow me on social medias. But since our time is kind of slowly, like, it's not like coming to an end. I could do this for as long as I feel like it. But because we're kind of getting into almost in the 40 minutes, I do want to say, if you would like to follow me on my social medias, for TikTok and Instagram, my username is T_Money's Treasure Trove. That is T_Money's Treasure Trove for TikTok and Instagram. And then for I don't know why I was gonna say TikTok again. For Twitter, it's Tea Money Talks. It's the same way you spell the show is how you will find the username, except instead of a dash, it's an underscore, T_Money Talks. And that's how you find me. And I was like, I was talking to Jared. I was like, I already run like 2 different social media accounts. Like, I already run one for my music and for myself. I don't want to run one for Tea Money Talks, like for Instagram and Twitter, and like a whole separate one. So I don't know, maybe like in the future Tea Money Talks might eventually have their own, like, which is why I'm like, maybe I'll just do a Facebook page instead of doing like Twitter and Instagram. I don't know, we'll see. But as for now, my Twitter is Tea Money Talks, just because it's like I am Tea Money and I'm talking on Twitter. It could be Tea Money Tweets. But I'm gonna use it as Tea Money Talks for you guys. So if you want to follow and like message, DM, whatever you need, it'll be there. But other than that, yeah, those are my socials. They're also linked again, like I said, here on Tea Money Talks now. So you could, hopefully you should be able to like find those links wherever you listen to this podcast as well. But yeah, I'm kind of sad that this is the end of season 1. I really am. But hey, in 5 months from now, I'm going to have more stories. I'm going to have a whole lot of structure, and I'm going to have a whole lot of fun recording season 2. I'm really excited. I can't wait for the return. I'm going to miss talking to myself, but I'm also going to enjoy the rest and the break and I definitely am excited to put this extra time into my album, because I have one song left to record the vocal track for, and after I record that vocal track, I will have my part. Stage 1 of recording will be done. Stage 1 will be done, and I will move on to stage 2, and I'm just so excited, because after stage 2 comes stage 3, and after stage 3 we're running on to, okay, when am I going to release this, I got to like start thinking of names, start doing photos, like then it comes to the real fun stuff, then it comes to the social, the business side. So right now, with this break of T Money Talks, I'm really going to use it to finish recording, because again, like I said, recording just takes the longest when it comes to music. Recording truly is the longest part of recording, and as much as I hate to say it, it's the truth. But that's why I want to take care of all the recording first. I don't want to think about a release date, cover art, anything like that until every single song for this album is mixed and mastered. Until the songs are mixed and mastered, completely ready to be distributed, ready to be put online, ready to be out and sold everywhere, I will not think about that until every single song is mixed and mastered. So once that happens, then the real fun stuff comes. And hopefully by the time T Money Talks Season 2 comes, I will have been done with the recording of all the songs for the music. The only thing I should be doing for the album is possibly mixing and mastering, or literally just going into working on release dates, doing photo shoots for like the cover arts and stuff like that, figuring all that stuff out. That's what I'm hoping that I can accomplish within this 5 months from T Money Talks, because I feel like if I do that, I will have so much more stuff to talk about on T Money Talks, because then I'll be talking about like photo shoots, videos, like like just concepts, like y'all all will be getting the inside scoop on this album. And that's what really excites me, is because I have really big plans for my music, for T Money Talks, for YouTube, for just all these big things, and all these great things that are going to happen, that are coming my way. And I'm just really excited, and I'm excited and sad because this is the final episode, but I'm only sad because I won't be able to, I'm gonna still talk to myself. I just feel like I won't have like dedicated time to where it's just me and myself. And I know this is something I will continue to do, though. Like, despite me not having to sit down and record a podcast, I'm still going to sit down and allow myself 40 to 45 minutes of just me time, of where I shut my door, I turn my lights on, I turn my lights off, I put my music on, I do whatever it is I want to do for the next 40 to 45 minutes alone with myself, and no one else. And I feel like that's something I'm going to continue to do, and I hope that's something that you have learned to do, or learned that it's something that you should try, at least, through this podcast, because I really do hope that if season 1 has done anything for you, I hope that it has taught you to also learn to take care of yourself and to have time for yourself. So, I don't know, I feel like that's kind of all I have really to say about this episode. I don't know what I was saying. It's just the time is coming to an end. We are wrapping very quickly, but as much as I don't want to end this episode, I feel like that is all I have to say. I have had such a good time recording season 1. I want to thank every single one of you for listening to T Money Talks, for tuning in every week or whenever you can. And I would just want to thank once again all of my listeners in the United States, my listeners in Russia, in Ireland, the Netherlands, India, Germany, Singapore, Norway, New Zealand, Canada, Sweden, Peru, United Kingdom, and a new listener in Portugal. I would just like to thank every single one of you for listening to T Money Talks, for following me, for staying tuned, and for enjoying every minute of what I have to offer you. I hope to see, or at least I hope you return for season 2, which will come again in August. Make sure to follow my socials or subscribe to the YouTube channel. So, until season 2, guys, this is T Money, saying live your life, because you are the only one who get it. All right. Bye.